Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Pilot of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop us a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys and it goes a massive way to helping the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 2 of Stormbringer magazine. So if you missed issue 1, which happened 2 weeks ago, where you would have missed out on our first playmat and our first minis. Our first minis included the Knight Arcanum from the Stormcast Eternals, and we also had 2 of the new Cruel Boys. So we had our Killer Boss, and we had his little stab grot companion who follows him around with a little knife and a little shield, and yeah, quite fun. This week, though, we get some pretty good units, really. We get 10 of the Cruel Boy Gut Rippers, more Oryx. They are cool, they're pretty decent. They are your generic foot soldiers for the Oryx now. Lightly armoured, or next to no armour, carrying shields and carrying these really cool, cruel looking spears. They're not bad. These are push fit models, so they're not anything fantastic in all honesty. But for £6, 10 Oryx, if you were going to go for an Oryx army, it is definitely worth picking up a couple of copies and having a good healthy amount of them and bulking out your force that way. So really good stuff there. In all honesty, I quite like it. I like the amount of units we've had with this one. Anyway, into the issue we go. So if you are new to the Age of Sigmar, obviously we are going to go through a load of information that is completely new to some people and old hat to everybody else. So if you are new to the Age of Sigmar, the Mortal Realms are 8 planes of existence that exist now. So there are different realms, and each realm has its own unique kind of link to a different wind of magic from the old world. There is the Realm of Life detailed here, the Realm of Metal and the Realm of Light, and also the Realm of Death. So these realms are also known as Gairan for Realm of Life, Shaman for Realm of Metal, Haish for Realm of Light, and Shaiish for Realm of Death. All of these have their own unique inhabitants, so the Realm of Life being very closely linked to Alariel, the Everqueen, and the Sylvaneth, so the tree men essentially, and tree elves. The Realm of Metal, Tzeentch, the Changer of Ways, is very kind of likes to hang around there, and a load of his minions do. Haish is home of the Lumineth Realm Lords, the new Elven faction, well, newer Elven faction, that have been around for a little while now, and they're pretty cool and pretty different and very upholding of the values of the forces of order. And then we have the Realm of Death, aka Shaiish, home of the great necromancer himself, Nagash, and his Ossiarch Bone Reapers, Soulblight Gravelords, Nighthaunt, and his good old Flesh Eater Courts. So a few units for him, but it is a desolate plane of existence. Now, detailed on the other, there is another plane of existence. Unfortunately, it is the Realm of Chaos, a realm between realms essentially. So this is a void, an etheric void where the Realm of Chaos exists. It is never changing. It is an immortal realm because it's always there. So Chaos is the home of where all the demons live, and much more. So legions of demons there, the chaos gods dwell there, and generally it's not a place you want to go if you like your soul to be intact. So, you know, pretty interesting, but really good stuff. So we find out a lot of information about the good old planes of existence. So if you are fully new to the Age of Sigmar, it is definitely worth reading up, because it will give you some background and some lore to do with the Mortal Realms, and it explains a little bit about them as well, so definitely worth having a read through. Then we move on, we have the Grand Alliance of Order. So the Grand Alliance of Order comprises of many different armies, led by the Stormcast Eternals in a sense, and there are a few others existing in here as well. So the Grand Alliance of Order was brought about by the God King Sigmar who kind of joined forces with many others to kind of take back the mortal realms from the forces of chaos, and they have done in a grand way as well. So the Grand Alliance of Order comprises of Stormcast Eternals, as mentioned before, who are the Sigmarite armor-clad demi-gods, essentially. So they are slightly immortal. They basically, if they die, their soul goes back to Azir most of the time. Sometimes it can get diverted to Shyish or captured elsewhere and stuff like that. And they get reforged on the Anvil of Apotheosis, and they come back as another Stormcast Eternal. Sometimes it could be very, very quick. Sometimes it could be decades later. Who knows? It's just whenever their soul reappears, essentially. Then there is the Sylvaneth, aka the Tree Men, the ancient forest spirits who guard the natural places of the mortal realms. That's why they're like Gairan in the realm of life. And yeah, they're pretty cool. Then we have the Cadron Overlords. Sky Pirate Dwarves are probably the best way to describe them. They love flying these metal vessels. They utilise a magical material known as ether gold to create their fast fleets, and use arcane firepower as well. So they are pretty cool, they're pretty funky, they look a bit weird, but they're not bad, they're pretty good. They are cousins of the dwarves essentially, and the fire slayers and stuff, such like, so pretty good stuff. Then we move on, we get to find out information about the Grand Alliance of Destruction. The Grand Alliance of Destruction is one that is coming to its own at this current juncture in the Age of Sigmar. So this current edition of the Age of Sigmar is very focused on destruction, fighting against forces of order. The last edition was the forces of death, and the first edition was the forces of chaos. So some pretty good bits and pieces. So it will change and chop and change over time. So the Grand Alliance of Destruction. These can be comprised mostly of Oryx, in all honesty. So the Ironjaws, who are your big brutish Oryx, who use these big massive metal pieces of armour, very crudely wrought weapons, and very crudely wrought armour as well, to be honest. But they like to assault and go on the assault more than anything. They don't really defend, they like to plough forward and beat the hell out of everything, and they're always up for a good scrap. So really good stuff there. The Gloomspite Gits, aka the Grots, and the cousins of the Oryx. They are your little goblins. They utilise sorcery, they utilise cunning little techniques, squigs and much, much more, and fungal beasts. They're pretty cool. They're not too bad, they're a little bit of fun. And then there are the Cruel Boys. These are kind of the new emerging Oryx that have been kind of uncovered in places like Gur, and they use cunning techniques, they take pride in underhanded tactics, they use lethal ambushes, and they like to cackle and utilise their shields to intimidate and much, much more. And they are lower armoured than their Ironjaw cousins, so they are a little bit springy and a little bit sinewy and stuff like that, so really good stuff there. So, with the Cruel Boys, as you can see, they all have these shields. These are your scare shields. These are based on the good old Squigs, essentially. The look of Squigs and the look of the God of Destruction, aka Kragnos, and one of them. It's they're designed to kind of resemble these faces that are a bit weird and a little bit different. In one of the novels, it does say that when they shake these shields, the air trapped around it makes a sound, so it makes it sound like it's cackling and laughing at you as they torment you in a way. But yeah, pretty good stuff. Obviously, with all of these pages, you're going to get a lot of stuff where you can roll to get tactics and names and much, much more. Now, this is completely new to the Age of Sigmar magazine, so the Mortal Realms didn't really do a lot of this, but this one does. So we have some pretty cool pieces here. So we can roll for our cunning tactics, for our gut rippers, if you want to, and you can make a note of them, so you can give them their unit name, their traits, and much, much more. Depending on how you roll, have a bit of fun with it. Your game, your way of playing it. Then we get our Cruel Boys collection, so we get to name Cruel Boys if you wish to. If you want to name all of your Cruel Boys, you can. So you can roll with these charts, and depending on how you roll will depend on the name. So if you have 2 6-sided dice, roll both. One of them, you get to pick your row, and the second one, get to pick your column, and then you get your name. So for instance, if you rolled a 2-4, you would have Slit. What a name. But yeah, really good stuff. But it's pretty cool. It adds something to it. So this was the type of thing that they did with Imperium magazine, where you can roll for names and stuff like that, and this kind of expands it. Or you can use name generators online if you wish to. You can also give them hero titles if you need to later on, and also unit names as well, so you can actually name the unit. So for instance, a unit of Crawl Boys is 10 minis, and you can name them, for instance, there. Have a bit of fun, enjoy it, it's your game, up to you if you utilise it or not. Then you've got a how to build guide. A how to build guide is actually fairly easy. They are pushed together, so you don't need glue for any of this. You will just need some pretty decent clippers and maybe a knife, maybe a craft knife or something like that, or an X-Acto knife to kind of remove mold lines, or even a mold line remover if you feel like it, or if you want, hobby file. Hobby files are pretty decent. They're very good for smoothing things out. However, you can go too hard with them, a bit too far with them, so just be careful if you are going to use them. But the build guide is actually fairly decent. It's fairly long because there is a way of building each of the 10. They are not very uniform. It is a case of having to muck around to get them right, and you get your gut ripper boss and all of that as well. So really good, but pretty cool. And then we get an expansion on rules. So this is all about the armor saves and units as well. So single models and multiple models all have different save rules, and as we go through the magazine, the basics are going to be explained to us. So it is all about going through your basics, and we'll have the advanced rules come much later on as well into the magazine's run. And we'll also get a playthrough, so we get our tutorials of how to use it. So how to use units, and how they move, so your units can push through up on one enemy, for instance, and have a bit of fun with it. And then we get our playthrough. So our second playthrough is the hunt. So it's all about deployment and movement as well. So this is bringing this into it, whereas last time we only had literally a little bit of fighting, literally face to face. This is all about movement around the board. Using the side of the playmat with the circles on it, which weirds me out, and this is so it doesn't utilise any kind of measuring gauges and rulers or anything like that, because each unit can only move a certain amount of space. This is just to kind of give you your basics. So you move your models into a circle and have a bit of fun with it, enjoy it, and then you go through. You can make notes of how you go through if you want to. If you don't want to use these pages for that, photocopy them, or scan them, print them, or use a notebook, which is the other way of doing it. So you can make a note of what your rolls were and much more, or you can just place your dice on these blocks. Entirely up to you how you want to go about doing it, but it basically works your way through as you go. But not bad at all. And then all about your victories as well, so pretty good. It's not bad. It's a pretty decent collection, pretty decent story bit. The playthrough's fairly simple. Have a bit of fun with it, enjoy it. Especially if you're new, this is definitely the way to do it, because it's very bite-sized chunks, easy to do, simple to follow, enjoyable as well at the same time. On the back page we have our usual, so this is the overall collection that we're going to get. There's quite a lot of minis there, some pretty good scenery as well, and we'll have loads of paint in between all of this as well. So 80 issues this will go on for. We get a lot of stuff out of it. So next week, and I'll do this all the time, next week we have 5 Vindictors. So these are your new lighter armoured Stormcast Eternals. They're pretty cool. I kind of like them. They have a different look to them. They have different shields from last time as well. Pretty good, not bad. And then issue 4 is our first paint issue. So we get 4 pots of paint. We get Auric Flesh, we get Lead Belcher, we get Cantor Blue, and we get Retributor Armour. These are your basic colours if you are following the painting guide from the magazine. If you are not following the painting guide from the magazine, you can get your paints from good old Warhammer stores, gamesworkshop.com. You can go to Element Games, which if you do, there is an affiliate link in the description down below. If you order through them, kicks me back a tiny bit of money. Not very much, but it does help out the channel in the long run. Entirely up to you though, but really good stuff. I am looking forward to getting going with this magazine and for it to kind of really step into its stride. Issue 3 is next week, I believe. But yeah, really good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Pretty cool. Have a bit of fun with it. Otherwise, if you're new to it, enjoy your playthrough, enjoy your minis, and I will see you next week. Bye bye now.